until he gets it right.
Can you possibly think of destroying him?
100%, of course. Yeah, of course. I totally understand.
No one's come close, Rico.
I know. So what an opportunity I have. Because what do I bring different to the table is I'm coming with kickboxing angles. And he's so used to, he's been dissecting the boxing game since I don't know what age he started. But that's how he does it. But the kickboxing game and the kickboxing angles are different. He hasn't seen that.
That's it, you know, nice and cool. Catch their mistakes. Right.
From the first bell, what are you going to do?
Knock his head off. That's what I'm going to do. I'm, like I said, I'm like 55 pounds heavier. Yeah. So as soon as I hit him, it's going to be something different.
You're going to knock his...
If ever there's a guy who likes to climb Mount Everest, it's Rico Verhoeven. And he's a phenomenal person. He's just like Usyk. He's like Usyk in his beliefs, really nice guy, and he's a credit to the sport. So I can't speak highly enough of him. It's not going to be as easy as what people think it is, because nobody's here. He's not coming for a paycheck. He was offered a lot more money in other sports. He turned that down for this one. So he's super enthusiastic.
If ever there was a more competitive crossover boxing match, it has to be the May 23rd clash between two undisputed champions, Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven. One is a boxing legend who needs no introduction, while the other is a legendary kickboxing icon who has held the undisputed heavyweight kickboxing title for 12 years. That's right, Rico Verhoeven has been the face of heavyweight kickboxing for over a decade, and he's now looking to challenge himself in a new sport. But calling this a challenge will be big of a stretch because Verhoeven is no stranger to the boxing ring. Having one professional boxing fight under his belt, Verhoeven has trained and sparred with some of the biggest names in boxing, including Tyson Fury, who he sparred a decade ago when the Gypsy King beat Vladimir Klitschko in a massive upset. Rico Verhoeven had a big hand in causing the upset because he gave the Gypsy King some much needed practice in the boxing gym in Bolton that day.
Nice and cool. Catch their mistakes.
Verhoeven looks fast and incredibly sharp judging by the sparring footage. He seemed to give a younger Gypsy King a tough time in the ring. Dismissing him without looking at his past training camp footage could be the biggest mistake fans and Oleksandr Usyk could make in this upcoming fight. Rico Verhoeven also thrives on his explosiveness and raw knockout power. The training camp with Fury has instilled in him the knockouts mentality going into every fight. Hear what he has to say about his mentality going into big fights during a latest interview.
You've been in many camps with Furies. What's the biggest lesson you've learned in boxing off of the back of that experience?
Keep working. Working. Keep beating the craft. That's the only thing. That's how you get better. That, I think, gave me also the fundamentals and working with Peter to be such a dominant in kickboxing and being such a dominant.
With that power and mentality, Verhoeven could be one of the most daunting opponents Usyk has fought. His experience as a training partner and size give him a significant boost going into this fight. However, if you still don't give him much of a chance, hear what strongman Eddie Hall had to say about Rico's power.
He is the hardest motherfucker I have ever met. You put Usyk, AJ, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, Alex Pereira, Conor McGregor, line them all up, right? And say, right, which one would you want to fight the least? I think this is the problem, right? Is kickboxing has not had the limelight as what boxing has, right? So when you say someone's been the heavyweight champion of the world for 1 or 2 years, like, oh, he's got to be a hard motherfucker. Rico has been the world kickboxing champion for 14 years in a fucking row. He's never once been knocked out. He is humongous. He's over, I'm going to say 125, 130 kilo. 6'5", 6'6", just a huge human being. Hands like shovels, feet like fucking Wreck-It Ralph. And I can honestly, hand on heart, say, if you were to give me any man on the planet to stand and fight King Kong with, right, and give me any single man on the planet, I'd pick Rico.
To understand what Hall means by his comments about Rico, you need to watch his stunning jab and endurance abilities.
So I have actually got the hardest recorded punch on the planet.
I'm testing the hardest punch ever recorded. We're increasing the power every round. But will he or I get stopped before 100%?
50%. Here we go. 80%. Here we go.
Yeah, that made me step back a bit then.
Nothing's wrong.
Sir, here we go.
And if that wasn't enough, Rico Verhoeven is extremely confident about his abilities going into this fight. Throughout the fight promotions and pre-fight press conference, Verhoeven has expressed his confidence about putting up a show and possibly knocking out Usyk on fight night.
AJ, Dubois, they've all landed their best shots on Usyk. He hasn't gone down, he hasn't been knocked out. Why do you believe you have the power to do this?
I don't think so. I don't think they landed their best shot on Usyk. Because he's so, he's slithery. He's all over the place. So I think he didn't get like rocked the right way. In the Fury fight, he got the uppercut. He was rocked. He was like wobbly. So it's definitely, it can be done.
What weaknesses do you see in him? Some people say he's maybe weak to the body at times. What do you see?
I don't know. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's a phenomenal fighter, all around, agile, an amazing gas tank. It's like he's like a Rubik's cube.
Rico, just a quick question from me as well. I want to ask, growing your boxing in the Netherlands, you've got Bradis Kraus, he's flying the flag for the Netherlands. What could this fight do to grow the sport of boxing in the Netherlands as well?
Yeah, for me now, it's such an honor to be representing the Netherlands and putting the sport of boxing in the Netherlands on the map. Like, yo guys, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna put the Netherlands on the map like it hasn't been on the map before. So for the World Championship and becoming world.
Verhoeven acknowledges Usyk as a tough opponent, but he believes in his skills and is confident that he can prove to the world he's the best when he takes on the Ukrainian champion in the ring. Verhoeven also expressed his profound excitement and gratitude for the opportunity to face Usyk. He acknowledges that while some may call him crazy for taking on such a dominant champion, he believes that achieving perfection in any discipline requires a level of obsessive passion.
Big smiles from you so far since the fight has been announced. Eddie Hearn says you're crazy. I just wonder, in your mind, what does all this mean to you, Rico? A man who's mastered his kickboxing craft to be sharing the boxing ring with Oleksandr Usyk with an opportunity for yourself, let's not forget, to become world heavyweight champion. Just tell us what this all means to you, Rico, and why.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, all smiles, because what an opportunity we have to upset the world and write history. And exactly what Eddie said. Are you crazy? I think to be the very best at what you're doing, you have to be a little bit crazy. And I think that's not just me. I think that's in every vertical and every discipline. You do something, you have to be a little bit crazy and obsessed with what you're doing. And that's what I am. What I do to the point perfect. I do to perfection. In my vision, I love it. I enjoy it. I do it with so much passion. And I'm crazy excited to be here. Yeah, super thankful for the opportunity that Oleksandr Usyk is giving me. Like he said, he's doing something that he wants to do now, and he was open to the fight. He was excited about the fight because it's something new, it's something different. We're bringing new eyeballs to combat sports in general. We're colliding two worlds together, kickboxing and boxing, to make the sport of combat even bigger. So, like I said, super thankful. For a lot of people that do not know, Jason Statham is one of the people that initiated this opportunity. So super thankful to him, and of course also His Excellency, because they were talking about it and he said, let's do it. And then first we got the opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua because of the tragic accident that got derailed. And then this opportunity came across. So super happy and thankful to be.
Verhoeven's trainer, Coach Peter Fury, also shared his perspective on the upcoming matchup. He notes his long-standing 15-year relationship with Rico, having previously worked with him on the boxing side of his kickboxing training. Fury acknowledges that transitioning to a full boxing match presents a different ball game regarding styles and stances, but he describes Rico as a phenomenal athlete who, much like Usyk, possesses deep-seated beliefs and a relentless drive to climb the highest mountains. Fury warns that the fight will not be as easy for Usyk as some might expect, emphasizing that Rico isn't participating for a paycheck, having turned down more lucrative offers in other sports, but is coming to win.
This evening, Peter, welcome. Just talk to us about your experience so far. You've worked with a lot of great fighters, but how's everything clicking together in the gym with this man? A new challenge for you as well as a coach.
Well, we go back a long way, actually, about 15 years. So I've always done the boxing side with Rico and his trainer, Dennis, but for kickboxing. So now it's a different ball game because it's boxing. Styles are different, stances, and 1 to 100, you name it. But if ever there's a guy who likes to climb Mount Everest, it's Rico Verhoeven. And he's a phenomenal person. He's just like Usyk. He's like Usyk in his beliefs, really nice guy, and he's a credit to the sport. So I can't speak highly enough of him. It's not going to be as easy as what people think it is, because nobody's here. He's not coming for a paycheck. He was offered a lot more money in other sports. He turned that down for this one. So he's super enthusiastic about it. And look, of course it's a difficult challenge. I think Usyk is the best heavyweight in the world, and he's earned it. And he's got my total respect. I think he's a fabulous guy. But look, this is a sport we're in. It's heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen when that bell goes. And, you know, Rico, he's not coming to make the numbers. He's coming to...
Rico Verhoeven is prepared and focused on the task ahead of him. He indeed has a mountain to climb when he takes on Usyk. However, the biggest obstacle he has to overcome now is proving to the world that he's a worthy opponent. Not many seem to be giving him a chance. Meanwhile, others have been heavily criticizing the matchup.
Another edition of WBC Clown College shithousery. Rico Verhoeven, the WBC kickboxing champion, fighting Oleksandr Usyk. Paul, what the is that about?
Boxing doesn't sort of fail to surprise me nowadays, and it's probably always been the case. It's one of them things where people are complaining about the fact that he's fighting for the WBC title. I totally agree. I don't think he should be for any belt. Obviously, he's had literally, you know, been a kickboxer for a long time and not really done much in boxing at all to warrant a shot at Oleksandr Usyk when there's a queue so big. And
indeed.
You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing. The people who are sitting waiting for their shot in line are going to be fuming over this. Some would say, to counter that argument, Usyk's probably earned the right to have an easier one after what he's done, and I do agree with that also. But I think just have that easy one and leave the belts out. But you know what the sanctioning bodies are like. There's a few percent to be had there from persons in there, so there's always going to be some form of belt.
Fabio Wardley was disappointed with Usyk not fighting a lesser-known professional boxer. He, however, wishes that Usyk returns to fight for the world title after this matchup. When asked about the WBC putting the belt on the line, he was sarcastic with his reply.
Junior, and we saw the announcement he's going to fight kickboxing world champion Rico Verhoeven. What was your reaction when you saw that's the direction Usyk was going down?
Yeah, look, I think it was the same as kind of the rest of the boxing world. It was quite underwhelming. I even said it myself, I understand that he's kind of earned the right to do what you want, but I at least expected it to be some sort of active boxer someone of some. Not to say I don't actually know much about Verhoeven in terms of a kickboxer, of what his quality level is, but what I'm saying is I expected it to be someone of a decent caliber of a professional boxer. But if it's not, then fine. Look, do your thing, do you, and hopefully he returns to actual professional boxing against some of the top elites.
I think a lot of people would echo your sentiment, and given what Oleksandr's achieved, he's earned the right for a novelty, an event people describe it as. But what I think's got a lot of people's backup is the WBC world title being on the line. Is that something that you were even more taken aback by?
I guess unsurprising. I understand the game of boxing, of what it is. So, yeah, look, is it particularly fair? Is Verhoeven ranked anywhere in the WBC? I don't know, or was he previously? I don't think so. But it is what it is, unfortunately. The game is the game. Boxing will always be boxing. Will always be some things we're unhappy with. It will always kind of go in a different direction than we want it to. But hopefully, look, he gets through it, takes it off relatively easy, and starts, like I say, gets back into the ring with a proper top-tier professional boxer.
Wade Plemons also voiced his disappointment with the belts being on the line, calling this matchup a circus. His main grievance is that the WBC is allowing Usyk to put his championship belt on the line against an opponent with almost no professional boxing experience. Wade argues this disrespects legitimate contenders and boxing fans alike. While he acknowledges the financial appeal and the unique venue at the Pyramids of Giza, he views the matchup as a fat paycheck for Usyk. He notes that while Verhoeven has a massive size advantage, Usyk is a superior technical operator who has consistently defeated much larger heavyweights. He concludes that unless a miracle occurs, Usyk will likely provide an easy masterclass, wasting months of the sport's time on a non-competitive title defense.
Why is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world not just taking a recess from fighting the biggest and best boxers on the planet when he is the sitting champion, but also putting his title on the line to fight a kickboxer with one professional boxing match in his career? That's the big part that really irks me. It's not that, I mean, it kind of is that Usyk is just doing this, like, whatever, okay, Usyk can go and do exhibition fights. Sure, fine with me, as long as you're not putting the title up, and really, you should probably vacate the title if you're not going to defend it. But then when you include the title, and you include it's a professional boxing match that the title is on the line for, I've said so much about how dumb the sanctioning bodies are, but Mauricio Sulaiman's really outdone himself here. Making this for the WBC title spits in the faces of not just contenders, it spits in the faces of boxing fans, because now you're expecting us to believe that these are the two best heavyweights on the planet in boxing, and we know they're not. We all call bullshit. This fight isn't even remotely interesting in terms of what we're doing it for. Are we really doing it because it's a fun thing to see Oleksandr Usyk fight Rico Verhoeven? No. We're doing it because Usyk wants a little time to do something else, make a fat paycheck, and they're going to do it at the bottom of the Pyramids of Giza. That's why we're doing it, so we can show off that we can put fights at the Pyramids of Giza. Did we not learn our lesson in Times Square? How much of a fucking shit show that was? You'll still do a watch party? I'll watch it. Listen, I don't have to think that McDonald's makes the best food in the world, but if I'm hungry, I might eat it. It's not 5-star cuisine, but it's edible. You're not talking to the guy that discounts circus fights. You want to have one, whatever. But it's like, would I rather watch this or Usyk versus Kabiel? I'd rather watch Usyk versus Kabiel. Would I rather watch this or Rico Verhoeven versus Francis Ngannou in MMA? I'd rather watch Rico and Francis in MMA. So,
legendary boxing trainer Teddy Atlas, meanwhile, defended Usyk for taking this challenge. He stated that Usyk deserves this fight after other heavyweights had their own crossover fights, hinting at Anthony Joshua's recent clash with Jake Paul. He also touched on Usyk's belts being on the line, calling it a different kind of fight.
Now, we've had a history. It's an entertainment business, right? And I know there'll be people that are going to say that, you know, they're going to be pros and cons about it. My feeling is, look, Usyk has earned the right to take a one-off, if you want to call it that. And just like everyone else is taking a shot at doing that, he's earned the right. He's fought everybody. Everybody. And he has put himself now into that status where he can be called one of the great heavyweights. of all time. He's earned that. He's fought everyone. Olympic gold medalist, unified the cruiserweight titles, and then fought everyone heavyweight, beat all the bigger guys. I think the question with this one would be that with the others that we've seen Joshua and Ngannou, Tyson Fury and Ngannou, Jake Paul recently with Joshua, they were known as events. You know, they put him off his fights, and they had obviously a real, a real danger to them as a fight, and they played out where guys got knocked out in some of those fights, but they weren't sanctioned for a title. I think what makes this a little bit different to me is that the WBA is sanctioning it as a title defense for Usyk. That makes it a little bit different. There's going to be some people who are going to say, well, that, it's not fair to some of the heavyweights out there, professional heavyweights that are not kickboxers, that are heavyweights, professional boxers, and they deserve a shot. But for a guy who's a kickboxer and who has had one professional boxing match, he's 1-0 against the guy that, who knows. But, so I can understand.
Teddy believes Rico Verhoeven's chances of winning this fight are slim to none. While Verhoeven is a physically imposing athlete, he lacks professional boxing experience and exhibits a straight-up style that makes him an easy target for a technician like Usyk.
At the end of the day, the most important part that I'll finish with is, what's his chances? What's Verhoeven's chances? I think slim and none, to be honest. I looked at film on him, and yeah, he's big. He's 6'6", 270. Fury was big too, but Fury was a professional boxer. This guy, as I said, he doesn't have that background. He stands straight up. He's had 76 fights. He's won 66. He's got 26 knockouts. He's not a huge puncher. His best punch is the right hand. That can be effective against the southpaw. Usyk's a southpaw. That can be the southpaw killer. I get it. It's not going to be. Again, Usyk's too versatile, too good for him. His defense, his offense. I think it's going to come down to where Usyk, it's up to him. If he wants to work with him and he wants to carry him, I don't know that anything that there was any agreement to that. I have no idea of that. But if it's going to be up to him, because what I've seen, like I just said, Verhoeven, he gets hit standing straight up. He's not easy to miss, to be honest. He's right in front of you. And it will just be, it'll be Usyk's call, how he wants to go about. Does he want to go get rid of him, or does he want to box? And, kind of enjoy the view a little bit.
Verhoeven's companion, Tom Aspinall, also talked about this matchup and shared his opinion on the fight. He warned Usyk about dismissing Verhoeven in this fight, stating that the Dutchman is incredibly powerful and is capable of a one-shot knockout. He did point out the gap in experience between the two, but he's not ready to rule out Verhoeven in this fight.
Think about boxing. Just away from yourself, what do you make of the fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven?
I think Rico's getting wrote off.
Did you come across him at Peter Fury's gym?
Listen, I've been training with Rico for the last 10 years, so I'm obviously pretty Rico biased. Rico's a good friend of mine. But he's a big man. He's had a lot of fights. Fair enough, they're fighting a different sport. But he can, if he hits him, it could be over. Do I think that Rico's a better boxer than Usyk? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. But I think that he's getting wrote off, and he's definitely got a chance of winning.
The experts have no doubt that this is an easy fight for Usyk. While Verhoeven might cause some trouble, he doesn't stand a chance against a technically gifted boxer like Usyk. The WBC belt being on the line for this fight is a major bone of contention, with most believing that's an insult to other heavyweight boxers in line for the belts. But we'd love to hear from you. What do you think of this fight? Should the WBC belt have been on the line? Let me know in the comments. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.